Ah yes, the FIIL T1XS and the FIIL T1 Pro. These two earphones seem to be very popular with the audiophile community, and after several months of using them, I think I finally understand why. As usual, before we start, here's a quick unboxing video for both the FIIL T1XS and the FIIL T1 Pro. Now, both of these are already available at Gadget Z here in the Philippines, and I'll link you directly to them in the description box. Alright, so design-wise, the T1XS and the T1 Pro have huge similarities. Their cases are almost identical with the same USB-C port positioning and the same light indicator placement, and at first glance, even the earbuds might look the same. But upon closer inspection, the FIIL T1XS actually looks a little bit chunkier than the T1 Pro. They do share the same proximity sensor, so when you take the earphones off, it would automatically pause, and when you put them back on, it would automatically play back whatever media is running on your device. They both also have touch controls, and I'll just flash the touch control functions for each TWS right here for your convenience and to save your time as well. Both devices work well with Android or iOS, however, only the FIIL T1XS has a global version as of the time of this video, while the T1 Pro still only pairs with the Chinese companion app. And speaking of its companion app, this is definitely one of the main features you'd want to consider getting the T1XS for, and maybe if you speak Chinese, the T1 Pro. You see, the companion app allows you to really fully customize your experience with these earphones. Starting from the sound profile, custom touch functions, adjusting the latency mode to match the media you're using, and even to toggling the proximity sensor on or off. But we'll touch more on those specific functions later on. For now, let's jump straight to the sound experience with the FIIL T1XS first. So right off the bat, the T1XS will sound neutral. It sounds really well balanced, and I own the regular FIIL T1X, and those sound really bass heavy. With the FIIL T1XS, you'll immediately notice the flatness of its sound profile, and this is where you begin to realize why audiophiles who are looking for budget TWS earphones are choosing the T1XS. Every frequency from the lows to the highs are represented properly. The bass is just right, and it's not too heavy that it interrupts the mids. The mids on the T1XS truly brings out each individual instrument, from the piano keys, the strum of a guitar, and even the sound of trumpets. The vocals are outstandingly clear, and while it blends well with the instruments, it still stands out just enough for you to hum along with the lyrics. After months of testing the T1XS, I can truly say that this is a must-have for audiophiles who don't want to spend too much on a pair of earphones. For only $50, you get a rich, well-balanced sound. And here's the thing. Even if you're not an audiophile, let's say you prefer your music to be a little bit more bass heavy, the FIIL Plus app is what makes the FIIL T1XS a very versatile pair of earphones. You can easily adjust your sound profile through the app with basic bass boost or even a treble boost. And if you're still not content, there are tons of other equalizer presets available. It has an advanced equalizer that you can customize to your heart's content. And that, my friends, is why I love the T1XS and its companion app. Okay, so that was the T1XS. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth could they top something like that with its Pro version? Well, how about a bigger soundstage and more natural vocals? I really thought that as a casual listener, I wouldn't be able to discern such a change, but man, was I wrong. The vocals seemed even better on the T1 Pro than on the T1XS. The tonality is perfect, and everything I loved on the T1XS just flawlessly integrates with the slight changes on the T1 Pro. Now, all things considered, it's not a mind-blowing change in sound quality, but for audiophiles, it's the smallest of details that matter, and I am certain that they will truly appreciate those slight improvements. As for similarities, both TWS have IPX5 waterproof rating, 6 hours of listening time with ANC off for the Pro, and a transparency mode which works really well for both. As for the Pro's advantages, well, aside from the overall better sound quality, I could only think of two. So there's Bluetooth 5.2 and active noise cancellation. Now with regard to the T1 Pro's active noise cancellation, it's a really disappointing feature, and you're better off turning it off to conserve battery. If you're looking for a proper active noise cancellation TWS earphones, the T1 Pro fails miserably in that aspect, so you might want to check other options out there. Now remember I mentioned that the Pro doesn't have a global version yet? Well, this means you'll have to use the Chinese version of the app to be able to fully take advantage of all its features. So that is something that you should take note of when getting the Pro version. As for latency, both the T1XS and the T1 Pro have different latency mode adjustments for music, movie, and gaming. And I'd say they do work well, albeit I've only tested it on the T1XS since I didn't try the Chinese app for the Pro anymore. There is still some latency when it comes to gaming, but if you're not playing competitively, you'll get by with it. Now before we end this video, just a quick reminder that if you found this video helpful and enjoyed it, a quick sub to the channel would be much appreciated. Anyway, here's a microphone test for both the T1XS and the T1 Pro.
Hey, what's up guys? So this is the FIIL T1XS microphone test. I'm outdoors right in the balcony area. This is what you'll hear with a very noisy air conditioning going on in the background. Not much noise outdoors because it's still lockdown season here in the Philippines. I'm sorry I don't have a video right now. It's super dark where I am right now. It's actually in the evening. But yeah, again, this is the FIIL T1XS microphone test. Let's go ahead and switch to the FIIL T1 Pro. Alright, now we have the FIIL T1 Pro microphone test. What do you guys think? I'll stay silent for a few seconds so you guys would hear how much ambient noise this captures. So not sure if you heard the air conditioner noise, but there is one behind me. And then we do have some vehicles passing by. What do you guys think? Let me know how this sounds to you. I mean, this should be better, hopefully, than the FIIL T1XS. So there you have it, guys. That's the microphone test for the FIIL T1 Pro.
Alright, so at the end of the day, which one should you pick between the two? Well, for me, the easier choice is the T1XS because it's more affordable and delivers almost the same high quality sound as the Pro. On top of that, you also get the full compatibility with the FIIL app, which enhances the overall experience with the T1XS. As for the Pro version, while it's an overall better sounding pair of earphones, the difference might not be that obvious for most listeners. In addition, its crappy active noise cancellation will leave you unsatisfied, and the lack of a global version might not merit paying more money for the T1 Pro. As of now, it's a little bit hard to recommend the Pro, so if you really must get a T1 TWS earphones, I really recommend going for the T1XS instead. And once again, you can get either one of these from Gadget Z here in the Philippines. And as for other regions, check out all of the links in the description box. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell button so you can watch more videos like this in the future. That's it for today, guys. Keep safe and have a great day.